Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profit. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women and men around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients because many can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You will learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle to ignite your sales, and unleash lasting profits. You'll also have the opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. Now, last week on Get More Clients, I had my wonderful guest, Uwe Dockhorn, and he is back today. Last week, we shared why your relationship foundations are crucial to your sales and business success. And today, Uwe and I will be discussing how to create robust life relationships to strengthen prosperity. Uwe is a lifestyle liberator for high achievers and their families. He believes in freedom and inner certainty that shows up in your business financially and emotionally in your relationships. Well, I am so glad to have you back today. Welcome to the show again, Uwe.
Well, it's really a pleasure being back with you. So thank you for having me again.
Well, we have such a great topic. Building strong personal relationships serves as a foundation for success. Reconnecting with loved ones and maintaining those connections is vital for your well-being. Nurturing relationships that are mutually loving and supporting have the added benefit of fostering personal prosperity and business accomplishment. By the end of today's show, you're going to know the definition of a robust life relationship, what the steps are to build a strong, supportive, and fulfilling relationship, and how your robust life relationships strengthen your prosperity. Gaining inner certainty, as Uwe is going to show us, opens the door to freedom and clarity in decision-making, which in turn enables better recognition of beneficial opportunities. Hence, strengthening your personal relationships not only contributes to a fulfilling personal life, but also paves the way for prosperity in the professional sphere. So, Uwe, let's sort of dive in because this is something that we've talked about, many times off screen and on, but how can you create those supportive and robust relationships that enhance both your sales success and your personal life?
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynn. So, and it's great to be back with you here and talking about this because I'm so passionate about it. And as you know, so I think the key to creating these relationships lies in understanding that our professional and personal lives are deeply interconnected. Just like a tree's root support its growth, our personal relationships provide the foundation for our professional success. So let me give you an example. So what I experience too often, unfortunately, when talking to organizations. So some time ago, but unfortunately the spirit lingers for far too long. When I talk about work-life harmony, I get a statement along these lines. So, and they say, we separate work and personal life here. And I say, well, fair enough. So, for example, when a colleague is under the radar for a couple of weeks, he doesn't show up as himself. So, and he's kind of like strange, and you realize something is going on there. So what's the first thing that comes to mind? I ask them. And typically I say, yes, everything okay at home? So there it is. That's the connection. Even if you believe that you want to separate it, but actually you can't. So we need to succeed at home first. And remember, we are gaining the energy at home so we can spend it at work. And, we call it recycling motivation. So just imagine for a moment, you could reclaim that kind of energy.
Yes.
Or you could feel being in control again and get to that inner certainty. You could regain your freedom, independence, and certainty, and you could make better decisions in every situation of your life. And you could become a better partner, feeling aligned in your relationship, as well as a more effective leader at work. So those are the powerful questions that and answers essentially that we gain here, Lynn.
Yes. And I can actually sort of feel that. I can just feel it as you're talking about it, what a difference that makes in your life when everything is aligned at home and you have that that really truly loving and supportive network right there at your fingertips, and how that serves you in all of your other endeavors. I closed my eyes and I was visualizing it. So, can you expand on how this works in a practical sense?
Absolutely, Lynn. So of course, you have to start with yourself. And so that's always the point. So it's not somebody else. You don't start with other people. So you start with yourself first. And that means you practice to let go and let in on a daily basis. So we learned this last week when we talked about the importance of letting go and letting in. So and when you practice this, that is how you start doing it by yourself. So coming home means that you leave the business hat or sales hat at the door. So what it means is you let go of the work identity and let in the dad and partner identity. So, and that might sound just simple, but how often are you really letting your thoughts at the door? It always comes with you. And how often are you fully present with your loved ones? So when this happens, you're not gaining energy at home. You you're physically at home, but mentally you're still at work and consuming energy that is work related. So when you're not fully present at home, that means you're not fully embracing the home energy and being at home. So that means you're not listening truly to your partner, to your loved ones, to your kids. You're not gaining energy for yourself. So why would you think that this works automatically with your clients? So in a professional context, think of each client interaction as an opportunity to plant a seed of trust and understanding. And nurturing these seeds through attentive listening, empathy, and genuine care helps them grow into strong, supportive relationships. And when you're practicing at home, then you're getting better at work. So let me repeat that because it's super important. When you're practicing that at home, empathy, listen, all that stuff, then you're getting better at work. It's all a cycle. And so this approach not only leads to increased sales, but also creates a network of loyal clients. So let me elaborate on that. So in our personal lives, the benefits are equally profound to improve your sales performance and to open the floodgates of fun, intimacy with your partner. Well, without spending years in relationship therapy or family counseling. I coach partners separately and bring personal development steps together regularly so you can level up to each other and reclaim your deeper connection with each other and have a respectful relationship that thrives and survives. So this is kind of like where you set the foundation to having a divorce-proof marriage. So, and just an example, the Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest studies on happiness, reveals that the quality of our relationships is the strongest predictor of life satisfaction. So this satisfaction spills over into our professional lives, creating a virtuous cycle of success and happiness. And these principles are just as crucial. By, applying the same level of care and understanding to our personal relationships, we create an environment of mutual support and intimacy. And this harmony between our personal and professional lives not only enhances our overall well-being, but also reflects positively in our business interactions. So, want me to share some how this kind of like approach impacted my clients' successes? Lynn?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear more about how this translates from enhancing your personal life and joy. So yes, please.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So consider a professional who applies the principle of empathy and active listening, honed in their personal relationship to their client interactions. This is what we're talking about. This approach not only leads to deeper client connections and increased sales, but also enhances their personal relationships, creating a harmonious balance between work and life. So one of my clients, a high-achieving executive, struggled with client retention, for example. So by applying these principles, he not only improved his client relationships, but also found a newfound sense of joy and connection in his personal life. And this holistic improvement led to a 30% increase in his client retention rate and a significant boost in his personal happiness. Yeah, that's where it shows. So, or another client who was afraid to address the shortcomings of his sales team underperforming, he needed a required turnaround. So he did just that by recycling motivation and using the letting go and letting in equation. So that enabled him to that success, to that turnaround. So, but before he even could do that, there was another thing that he was struggling with. And I guess you can think about something. So essentially, it's the fear of failure. So how did we address fear, which is one of the most common challenges we all face, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And connected essentially to recycling motivation and letting go and letting in. So, well, if you indulge me, let me share with you an easy to remember formula. And if that's okay with you, Lynn, I would like to do that with you together. Is that okay? So our audience can also participate here.
All right, perfect.
Wonderful. Let's do something. Let's get into action here. All right. So I want you to imagine in your mind, there's one line. You can write it down in front of you on a sheet of paper. There's one line goes from left to right, obviously, and it's a scale. So you mark it on the left side. You just put a mark it and on the right side, and it's a scale. So on the left side, you write down the word fear. So that's the left side of that scale. So Lynn, let me ask you, what is on the other side of that scale?
On the other side of that scale, boy, there's a whole lot that's on the other side of the scale. Happiness, fulfillment, love, laughter, just, activities with that, are fulfilling, that make you happy, that are filled with laughter, I guess.
All right, they're all right, Lynn. They're all right. It's funny that we often try to get to that point where we want to be, to extreme that. But this is a tool. So in order to work as a tool, we have to find what is the opposite of fear, essentially, so we can leverage it. And essentially what on the other side of fear is trust. So you have on the left side, you have fear, you have trust on the other side of that scale. So now the next step is that everybody can just follow through with is just imagine where you are right now in this very moment as you were hearing this on that scale? Are you closer to fear? Are you closer to trust? Are you right in the middle? Where are you, Lynn?
I would say that I'm halfway between the middle and trust. So, like 3/4 of the way there.
Wonderful. How is it? How do you feel being there?
I feel great, and that it's sort of funny because you had said to use the word trust, and of course, to fully love, I would think the opposite of fear was love for me, but you're right. You have to trust to be able to love, right? You have to be able to open yourself up, and so I can see the correlation.
Wonderful. And speaking of correlation, so we're not finished yet because
Okay.
we're going to go further. Amazing. So just imagine below that line and that scale between fear and trust, there's another one. But this time it's an arrow that starts on the left side and goes into the right side. So
Okay.
an arrow, you mark in your mind a 0 on the left end, on the beginning of the arrow. And on the arrow side, on the right side, you put that infinity symbol. That's the 8 laying on its side there. So you have 0 to infinity, right? Okay, so building correlations, they are correlated to each other. So the only thing is missing now is, what's the name of the arrow? What is it?
Huh. Well, what is the name of the arrow? Well, there's got to be, if you're going from fear to trust. So, I feel like I'm on a test and I don't have an answer
There are no
for
wrong
you.
answers. There are no wrong answers. Good.
Yeah, I guess it would be, to me, it would be that, the empathy, potentially being able to open yourself up so that you can recognize which stage you're in. I don't know.
It's even much more fundamental than that. All
Okay.
good. So nothing right or wrong. So it's more fundamental than that. It's energy.
Yes. Makes sense. Okay. Got it.
So can you feel that, the connection?
Yes,
How
because
they
then it's
correlate?
all of a sudden, where are you putting your energy? How are you expending your energy? So,
Exactly. So now when we go back to the example earlier, when I asked you, where are you on that scale between fear and trust? So that actually means when you're closer to fear, you are losing energy. When you're closer to trust, you're gaining energy. As you said earlier, I'm feeling good. Yay, if we feel good when we trust, when we are full of energy. So now it comes down to making a decision. And based on what? Well, based on letting go and letting in. So when you make a decision about how you want to make you feel to have more trust and feel more energetic, well, and you are closer to fear, in every situation, you can just do that. And you feel like, okay, I'm closer to fear right now. What do? Well, you let go of that fear and embrace and allow yourself to trust yourself. Maybe there is something you have done before, you have achieved it, you remember, oh, I did it before. I can embrace that energy and trust myself even more. So that is how you shift from fear to trust all the time. And so now we have 3 components to craft the formula. So essentially, that means we have energy equals trust minus fear. E equals T minus F. So that's a formula. That's an energy formula, essentially. It's easy to remember. And that is the missing piece when we're putting the puzzle together. So we have the letting go, letting in piece. So it's like, okay, we can let go and let in something else that is more positive and hopeful. Well, we can let go of the fear and embrace trust. So we gain even energy and feel good about that. And coming back to recycling motivation, starting with yourself means, well, I can let go when I come home the sales hat, the executive hat, the leadership hat, and let in the dad's hat, the partner hat, and embrace that fully, emotionally, so that I have the energy, a new kind of energy there. Because then, you have to regenerate your batteries, so to speak. And that is why it's so powerful, and everything is connected to energy. And it's not just talking about some woo, if you practice this, you can actually feel it, and you actually execute on that regard. So that's my little energy. And I just want to share kind of like some examples also from a sales senior sales account manager. And because he came to me after his second burnout, and essentially he, at the end, he said something along the lines of like, so Uwe, you supported me to have more success in the job, but to work less, gain more money, and to find out what's really important to me in life. And that's me and my family. So nowadays, and his wife, she also worked with me together after that. And she said something along the lines of like, well, the coaching with you was a game changer, because she felt she could level up with her husband, and regarding mindset and fulfillment and motivation, essentially. And as a result, they're now respectfully eye to eye now, knowing exactly what they want to achieve together. And they have so much more fun and adventures. And so I always see kind of like where they're heading next with their kids, going on adventures and doing a lot of stuff and fun stuff there. So we created that final family mantra for them at the end of the coaching. And so it's really about, the success at home,
right,
enabled them to gain the success at work.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I mean, I totally embrace, obviously, everything that you're sharing. And I know that I've felt that, how that's impacted, my life, and not just this business side and that success side, but my whole sense of why I'm, tipped over on the on the trust or happiness scale is that having that really incredibly strong foundation. And, I've seen in so many different ways how it impacts people for the good, and how it really helps and serves them beyond their business success, but for their own, which of course, that's what we're talking about here, is that it's this foundation. And I love that you're sharing examples of how this approach has impacted your clients' success and prosperity, and those simple tools of that letting go to let in. And I think that is a really brilliant mindset piece, because when you think about, I do a different thing when I talk about fear. I talk about, that worst case, best case scenario, to actually look at the fear and say, what's the big fear? What is it? And then what's the worst case scenario? And what's the best case scenario? And what's the most likely scenario? But if that worst case scenario actually came to pass, what would that mean? And I think when you look at it, it takes the strength away from the fear, the energy away, because you're able to look at what would the path be. So
Essentially what we're talking about is this is what I tell my clients, is that this is how you crack your code of transformation, because that it is at its core. So essentially, we all have to crack our own code, but these are the tools that you're using with that you need to use them to succeed, essentially. Because if if you practice this more and more and more, you're much more flexible. You're more empathetic. You can shift kind of like from feeling offended to feeling like listening mode. Like it's not about me. You can, can just separate yourself from that. It's like, okay, I'm good. And so there's a whole lot that is connected to that we didn't learn when we grew up. So nobody taught us. So because the thing still exists that, well, you have to let go, and it's very hard and to let go. Yeah, it's only hard because you don't have an alternative in that moment, because you will be rewarded. And I could just talk hours about how it makes you feel. But if it's an experience, and when you felt it, I'm having goosebumps already, because this is the reward. So to make it, for people who are suffering from fear, on the other side, there is this thing we call goosebumps. They are waiting for you. That's your reward. When you're opening yourself up internally and allow yourself to let in what else is there that's good for you, that's supportive of yourself, then, all the neurons kind of like go into that mode of like, oh, wow. It's kind of like an ecstasis experience. So that's ecstatic experience that you could experience here. And so people always feel that they have to be afraid. No. If you want to stick to that side and be part of the problem, well, you can do that. But for how long? How much energy will that cost you? And that's why I said it starts with you to let go of that and embrace, let in what else is there. Oh, I can trust right now? Ooh, of course, it's not done kind of like after you've heard this for the very first time today. But if you can, you're just aware about that, you will find moments in your life where you remember this, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to stay here in that kind of energy. I just let that go and just go on. And, in the past we said, yeah, we have to move on, but it's more like we have to move on. So it's pressure. No, it's not. So it can be much more fun. It's like, so no, I don't want to stay here. Let's just go there and embrace what is going on here on the other side and be part of the solution. And so that increases your capability of decision making, of being flexible, empathetic, and aligned, authentic with your clients. And in sales conversations, you can sense what is going on here on the other side. And you can really draw back and it's like, okay, I see what is happening here much better, because you have a thorough and deep understanding about about yourself and your inner workings.
Yeah. No, and I think the key is that it's the two part, that letting go, but then letting in how critical that is. And I love how you phrase that, Uwe, that this is cracking the code of your own transformation. And it may be that first little piece that you let go, and then you let something else in. And you're right, you don't get to the big stuff immediately, but you get started. And then how you add that experience and the energy flow. Yui, thank you so much for sharing how to create robust life relationships to strengthen prosperity. It's clear that you have so much to share on this, on cultivating our relationships and how they have a profound impact on both our business success and our personal fulfillment. So everyone, Yui's contact information is down below. I would love for you to connect. Yui has a gift for you as well that we'll be linking to, so that you can really dive in a little deeper with working with him. And Yui, thank you. And thank you everyone for tuning in. My purpose is for you to get more clients. Bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. And the fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. And the best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. And you will find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, Yui and I explored how to create robust life relationships to strengthen prosperity. And the key is for you to implement these steps. So stop wasting time, energy, and resources. So let go and let in. you have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success, what is working, not working, and what you would love to have working. And I know that I will be further supporting you on how to effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. And Uwe will have his special mix of how he works with you to really break through in that crack the code of your own transportation. So say yes to you. You can get on a call with me, get on a call with Uwe. We are truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. So I want to say thank you again. You can connect with me on our website at petitetoqueen.com. You can see all of the insightful advice, the breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Get More Clients. And make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing to Get More Clients wherever you get your podcasts. And if you love the show, please share it and give us a 5-star review. We'd very much appreciate it. And next week on Get More Clients, I'm going to be talking about networking today, how to spark, shine, and connect. I will see you next week on Get More Clients. Thank you so much, Uwe.
Thank you. Appreciate you.